Championship Grand Final, and as we can see, bodies flying everywhere, Suze, in this opening few minutes.
Yeah, that's right. It's really important in that first 5 minutes to really settle the nerves, to be in control of the ball and make sure you're putting off a good pass. As we see Nickel receive the ball from Hogan under the post.
And this is one where, as a goal, you've got to really steady. You want to get your first shots in to settle your nerves, settle your team. And we advance now for a Lightning centre pass. Kelsey Rainbow passes it off into Sinclair as they get the ball moving down the court.
Yep. Stewart offloads. They head into the mid-court, penetrating the top of the circle. They worked that really well in the semi-Lightning. They're very strong through that mid-court.
And as we see there, Danny Stewart, their wing attack for Lightning. What they've got to be careful of is not hanging in those pockets for too long. If they're driving into that space, they do need to get out quickly, because otherwise you allow for a contest for Blaze.
Yeah. Sinclair puts the shot up, misses it, and it's contact under the post by Vaughan.
Now really, the Blaze have a very experienced back line, so they'll be looking to expose the Lightning to their harsh tactics, because they are, fantastic. They've got some very good experience over the years.
Well done. Great pressure there by the MU defence. They'll really want to be on that early, I think, and work this ball out now, make the most of that turnover opportunity. As we see Stewart heading into attack.
Really nice move there by Sinclair on the baseline, but she's missed the first couple of shots, and that's really a key. She needs to get back into this contest and settle. So now she's got to put the defensive pressure on.
Yeah, she's certainly trying. She's taken a couple of long shots, so maybe the opportunity to re-offer or look to hit Vaughan under the post.
Blaze trying to set something up here into attack.
Yeah, we see Hogan doing a lot of work there, cutting the front
and
of
a
the
great
circle.
shot.
Great shot there by Hogan.
We will be bringing you the stats of the goalers at each break. We'll be given those. Hogan backing up her own little work there, dropping the ball but retaking it. Oh, that was a bit of a...
It's a bit heavy.
Yeah, nearly throwing the ball way out of court there. You can see at the start of a big major match, a lot of nerves are there, where the players have them, and it is the ability for the team to settle early that generally gets the kick.
Yeah, you're right, and it's also adjusting to the umpires as well. And I mean, there's certainly, as a defender, you don't want to be out of play early, and you want to be listening to how the umpires are interpreting the game and make sure you're in play. Again, Stewart, a nice drive there. Coppinger probably want to be trying to stay a bit closer on those in the next few to cut out her influence.
Yeah, they have been hitting the circle edge, and now it's about these goalers just making sure that they settle and pop the ball in, which you can see there, Michaela Vaughan, the goal shooter, really cheering on her partner in crime for shooting that one.
Yeah, and it's great to see Sinclair again backing herself on the shot. First two didn't come off, but she's taken the shot again and it came off well then.
You can see there the crowd that's in for tonight's match. We have got a fair few people here. You'd have to say a couple of thousand of people.
Yes, and I heard we've had some previous matches earlier on. We had the 19 and under match where Geelong Cougars won a very close encounter against City West Falcons, coming away victors 55-54, which was a fantastic match. And the game prior to this, again Geelong Cougars having a good night, won the Division 1 match against Blaze. I can't quite have the score in front of me of that one, but we've had some great games early today.
Yeah, and Geelong coming up the highway, they're doing very well.
Oh, they're breathing tough down there,
I know, everyone that's listening, Susan Meany,
a lot of champions have come through Geelong. Continue to, El.
we will hear about it all night. As we see the Lightning, trying to put a high one in there, Kelsey Rainbow didn't pay off, but gee, the Lightning defensive work from their attack end has been phenomenal in this opening minutes.
Yeah, I think Coach Kent's obviously been pretty firm with the girls to want that full court pressure. And that really starts in that attack end to hold that ball down there so they can create the turnovers and obviously make it easier for the defenders to be seeing that and picking it off down in the defence end.
We must mention both coaches, very experienced. We've got Alyssa Kent, who was McLeod, who was a Firebirds and Vixens premiership player. And then we've got down the other end, Kate Upton, who was on the Collingwood Suncourt Super Netball bench this year and is a very experienced Victorian coach. So, you know, it's great to see we've got some depth in the coaching ranks coming through, and both teams really have come through terrifically throughout the season, and it goes to show that the coaching's in good hands.
Yeah, and there's great depth in Victoria coaching, as we just saw a sensational intercept there by Oliver, which came down to create another scoring opportunity.
Great ball, great vision.
Bit of bumping of the post there, I would have thought.
Oh, well, we always have that third defender there when they bump the post. It's a bit annoying when you're a shooter, let me tell you. Now that Leah Riley, she's missed that take, and it just fumbled through the hands there. And
yeah, the last couple of attacking attempts that Blaze have had, they've just been forcing it and rushing it a little bit. I think there's plenty of options down there. You need that control, keep the eyes up. You've got the options behind to either reset and swing the ball.
One thing that Stewart does very well, she just is, you can see with her here, she's got the vision, she's having a look, patience.
Well done, great touch there in defence.
Yeah, Wilson and Livesley are doing a great job there for the Blaze. I mean, they are great.
They are experienced.
You know, Fury players. Michaela Wilson was on the Collingwood list last year, so certainly they should be able to beat the Lightning attackers.
Yeah.
Hogan, fabulous shot, under a lot of pressure there. But turns and goes straight to the post. That's what you want from your goaler, Susan.
That's exactly it. As we see the score now, we've got Melbourne Uni at 3 and DC North 5. And we're just under 8 minutes in this first quarter. Lucky not to get a played ball there, but well done. Another intercept by Oliver. She's had a couple of really crucial turnovers here as they transition. So that pressure coming down court there, not a lot of pressure from the DC side at this point, whereas MU are really making a priority of that full court pressure.
Yeah, and you can see that just the ball's coming in thick and fast into the MU forward line, which makes it hard for the circle defenders when that's happening.
Yeah, nice roll on the base there. You'd appreciate that one, Elle.
Yeah, Michaela Vaughan.
She's got another shot there.
Got a steady here. And she does.
It's all tied up. 7 minutes into the first quarter, or 7 minutes to go.
Oh, strong take. And there again, the challenge and that pressure from MU Lightning is making it really difficult for Blaze to get to penetrate into their attacking end.
Yep. Hogan again using that front space.
Lightning with the ball. Sinclair onto Vaughan. Again, they're getting to the circle edge really easily.
Yeah.
It's the challenge coming from the two Blaze circle defenders. Nice shot by Gabby Sinclair.
Yeah, she's certainly the radar's on now after those first couple of attempts, but I think it's still good to be backing yourself and putting it up. You're only going to get it in if you keep trying. So, and another turnover here for Blaze.
And that again was down to Danny Stewart. She just gets in there with her defensive efforts and frustrates the hell out of the Blaze attackers.
Yeah. Shot. Lovely shot there by Sinclair.
Yeah, she's definitely got her range. Yep. The range is on now.
Yeah. Contact on the transverse line there as Lightning heading to attack again. Vaughan's trying to move up to the top of the circle. She had good space there, but moved off the hold a bit early. This is where you like to see them turn and put that shot up.
And that was just Livesley leaving the defensive space. When you're out of play, you actually cannot move at all. You've got to be out of the contest. She moved a bit too early and got a second take on it. Ella Bayliss with the ball for Blaze into Nickel. That's what they need to try and do. They need to get the ball outside and look at a strong hold of Nickel and give the ball when it's on. But add the balks, get the defender's eyes moving.
That's right. And I think Hogan being if she can keep herself quite busy out the front, that really draws Oliver up the court.
Yes.
And it enables Nickel to be under the post on her own. And again, as you said, like the mid-quarters have got to identify that and really get that ball in quickly. Stewart again. Nice swing to the top. Opens up the play.
Oh, well done.
Well done.
Did you see that screen by Michaela Vaughan there? There's certainly a great combination going here with Sinclair and Vaughan. They have played together for a couple of years now, and it's certainly, you can tell.
Yep. And a bit of bump and shove on that transverse there line with Pennetts and Bayliss. There'll be plenty of that going on for the rest of the game.
Well, that was another key matchup that we thought, you know, both Fury players, very experienced in the VNL competition, would have played each other millions of times, so that'll be one to watch.
Yep. Doesn't get much closer than that for Nickel.
No, and Worth's probably got to get off the body just a little bit. She's getting caught behind, so she needs to get her feet moving, move around in front and contest that ball. Well, there's a lot of holding going on, but how hard is it to defend when the goalers are moving like that? Sinclair did a beautiful baseline drive and just turned on a coin, basically.
Yeah. And I think that all started too by Vaughan creating that space. She made that option leading up forward, which opened up the base of the circle for Sinclair to be able to lead into. They've definitely got some fluency and momentum happening at the moment, Lightning.
Yes. Flow on the ball from Lightning into attack. It's Sinclair's got it inside the goal third.
Just got to convert.
And it's a steady here. Danny Stewart to take the penalty outside the circle. There always seems to be someone available at the last minute for the Lightning at the moment.
It does. And you can see there, Sinclair moved to that back space, and you know, that's the maturity in a player like a Danny Stewart. She could have given that ball away, but decided that that wasn't a risk she was prepared to take. They worked the ball around patiently, and they ended up getting position, getting ball, and got the goal. So well done. So turnover
for Blaze. They really need to make sure they utilise this one and get it
have
down.
Have a look at this pressure. I mean, that pressure there, it's set up full court. If we've got the privilege of seeing the full court here on the sideline, and each of those MU players, I keep saying VU, MU players are right on their opponents, and they're not giving them an inch.
And it's in. Nickel has got to take that contested ball with two hands strong every time it comes into her. She's got to make sure that she stands tall tonight, and so far doing a great job. That ball's just got to come into her. Hogan, the centre pass. Bayliss trying to get that depth on that second phase, hitting the brick wall every time by me, BU player.
Yeah, and there's another body banging into. Bennett is definitely making her presence felt down there, which is what a wing defence needs to do. You need to get in there and make that second phase extremely difficult.
Yeah, that's a great feed. Good setup there by the Blaze with that ridgy didge, as we call it, standing together, the two goalers, so we're blocking out the defenders.
Stewart, nice cut back. See, more pressure needs to be on that by Coppinger.
It just
Stewart
looks
again.
They've got the ability to go back and reset if they need MU, so they seem to be free. There's always someone available. As Vaughan takes the shot. Missed, but they've got the throw in.
Just felt she lost the extension on her shot there a bit then. As Sinclair takes the pass on the baseline. It's a bit ambitious.
Very ambitious. We've got two Blaze defenders well and truly covering that pass, and the ball still went in, so they're lucky to get that throw in, actually.
Yeah. As we see in the background there, you've got the Lightning bench warming up. We saw in the semi-final, Amelia Brock came on and did a fantastic job and just really created a different attacking front line for Lightning, so we may see her introduction at some stage during the game, depending on how that front end of Lightning are going.
Ella Bayliss hasn't taken one ball that she hasn't a defender on her, so she's under pressure every time she takes the ball, doing a good job so far. She finds Nickel again, who takes the penalty shot. So again, Worth probably just got to get off that body and restrict herself from those penalties. We don't want to have our circle defenders out of play. We want them in play as much as possible, but getting off the body helps that.
Yeah.
Good baseline drive by Hogan. Oliver.
Fantastic.
She's been great so far tonight.
And we're all tied up. 11 all at quarter time here at the State Netball Hockey Centre.
We can see some replay there. Fabulous work by Oliver to...
Yeah, she's had a couple, I reckon she would have had probably two clear intercepts and a couple of deflections, which is some great pressure, and that's probably been a standout for me in this first quarter, seeing the MU Lightning pressure, full court pressure, and allowing those defenders to come through and take those tips. But having said that as well, I think towards the end, Force were finding that connection to nickel a lot easier.
Yeah, look, I think, certainly as we see the scores, 11 all, it is so close. We ebbed and flowed a little bit there in the middle section of probably 5 minutes in there, where I thought Melbourne Uni, were looking pretty good. But Blaze, they stuck to their guns and they game plan. And again, nickel is a key. And you said, as Hogan, as long as she pops out and pops forward and gets that front space,
yeah.
But they've got to continue to not be scared to look to nickel. Yeah,
and be steadied on that feed. I think earlier we did highlight the start of each, particularly in a final, it can be a bit frantic, and I think there were a few turnovers there in a row from Force that just got a bit congested and fumbly a little bit, but they definitely settled towards the end. So, they'd be looking in this next quarter to probably tighten up a little bit on their defence and keep those options and flow in attack. They don't need to rush it, don't need to force it. They've got a great target under the post there in nickel, and they've just got to be patient until, that space opens up for her.
And Blaze, wouldn't you want Wilson and Livesley down your other end for you? Like, I think, circle defensive-wise, they're very strong players, and they're going to get a job done. And yes, you're not going to intercept every ball, but certainly they're going to pick up a few, and they've just got to make the most of the opportunities that they do get.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Danny Stewart, she's fired up for me.
Well, I was going to say, she's been outstanding in this first quarter. She's really controlled that attack end with her give and goes and hitting that circle edge, which is where you want to be to feed. And I think the game plan too for for Vaughan and Sinclair up in attack for Lightning is to really move that ball around, get Nickel and Livesley on the move. They're big units. You want them to be moving around and splitting them up as a defensive duo. So they've been quite good, that attack end for Lightning in really moving them around and creating space.
And just some stats for that first quarter. We had Michaela Vaughan, goal shooter for Lightning, shooting at 75%, and Gabby Sinclair at 73%. Gabby had 8 from 11. Vaughan had 3 from 4. Libby Nickel for Blaze had 100%, 8 from 8. Sarah Hogan, 3 from 3 at 100% too. So they are shooting at 100%. So give them the ball, they'll do the job for you. And scoring off centre pass at the moment, Blaze a little bit down at 59%, whereas Melbourne Uni Lightning are at 64%. So Blaze would want to improve that this quarter.
Yeah. As we see Stewart head into attack. Again, resetting. Needs to be a lot more pressure on her even getting that second opportunity. Like, then she's driven to the top of the circle and she's got there. So we just need a bit more pressure to cover her off as an option and really block her space.
Because she really does control that attack end, doesn't she? So
yeah, she does.
When she's firing, it seems like they fire, and that has been a story for their whole season.
Yep. Hogan offloads to Bayliss, back to Hogan. They are making them work here, but it's really important, and hopefully Michaela's very lucky. She got that pass again. She'll be thankful for that penalty. But they're really having to work, and again, another hesitant pass. They just need to steady here. When a team are playing that tight on you, you just need to look for your options, and take those drives to draw the defenders on the way through.
That's better defensive pressure. We spoke about that last quarter, but through that mid-court, they need to hold it up, Blaze, not allow it to fly down court.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That was like a bullet.
Bullet ball in and a great shot. Great rebound by Vaughan. And if there's any young people watching at home, 2 hands on every rebound will get you the ball every time.
Sure will. I've never had that problem, Al, in the mid-court.
No.
However, I was happy to direct you under the goalpost to do it, but you got the goals in most of the time. You didn't need to do that.
Sometimes. But Vaughan certainly had 2 hands there going up really strong for that rebound. Great effort.
Swing across. Strong attacking play in defence there from Oliver. Stewart off to Sinclair. That's good pressure there by... This is where they need to tighten up on the outside.
Well, they've forced it up here.
Yeah, well done.
It was almost over a third. Lucky she was on the sideline, not the baseline.
That's it.
So they've worked it in nicely to Vaughan, who's, you know, Wilson's not really affecting her shot at all. So some great shooting there by Vaughan, as we can see the replay there.
Good back up.
Worth coming out and being cautioned by the umpire. So if you get a caution, next warning or caution you get sent off. So she's got to be very careful now. Although I thought, you know, she was going for the ball. So
it ended up just being a bit late and clumsy. And you know, I think you know that. And as a defender coming through, you know, once you commit, you've got to commit, and you're encouraged to. And it's a bit of a clip behind the ear.
You can see that Riley's been put out of play there just for feeling. And Sinclair going for the shot.
She's got a bit of a unique technique. You could see her a little bit on an angle as she sort of shot that ball.
Yeah, it's the Cathcox angle,
yes.
Susie. It's the 1 foot a little bit forward. But generally, she's
well
quite
done, Danny
successful.
Stewart.
Again, the defensive pressure from those attackers for Melbourne Uni Lightning, excellent. Causing a bit of havoc there for the Blaze to get through court. You can see Danny Stewart again, loving feeding from that circle edge.
Lovely movement in the goal circle there by Vaughan. She steps in, takes the shot, sinks it.
Blaze centre pass. Riley to take it to Hogan. They've taken 3 passes and they still haven't got it into this attack end.
Worth was having a think of that, about attacking that ball at swing as Hogan swings it again.
The pressure on that circle edge by the MU defenders is making it tough for Blaze to penetrate into that circle.
And I think if Hogan's able to use that front space and really get herself in that circle and drive, because the defenders, Oliver and Worth, are coming back on Nickel. They're well aware of the danger of her being under that post. So that space is there for Hogan, as we see Sinclair doing a similar thing down the other end.
Good chasing up the loose ball there by Danny Stewart. She wants to get it moving quickly, Stewart.
Again, the back space is on, but she chooses to hold.
Which is probably a good option. Sinclair probably being the smallest in that circle. You don't want to put a high ball too often up to her unless she's wide open, as we see Vaughan take that successful shot. 16-13. Melbourne Uni up.
Nice.
Balance there by Nickel. Good chase back up by Hogan.
I actually really, I mean, having been a mid-quarter, I know you like to get the ball and take those drives, but that option there of just looking straight into Nickel, I'd actually like to see them keep the eyes up a little bit and put that in every now and then. I mean, she's got such an advantage over Worth in that circle. And
we've got a time there called by Riley, so a change.
Change for both sides, looks like. Oh, no, just one?
No, because it must have been ready. You've got to be ready to go on straight away when Blaze actually call it. So it's a new rule that came out about a year ago, why they didn't allow Maddie Carter to come on. So I think Sarah McDonald is come in. Or Al McDonald, sorry, Sarah.
Might be her sister or cousin.
Yes. Sorry if her family is listening. It's Al McDonald.
Father's old McDonald.
Yeah, something like that. So who's Al McDonald?
Stewart at the top, nice feed. Just held on to it long enough for Vaughan to come through. Doesn't take much to crack you up, Al.
No, I don't get out much these days. Al McDonald with the centre pass, got her knee heavily bandaged, and turnover too. We often say that when a player comes on, it might be 1 or 2 turnovers to settle them in.
Yeah, and I wonder whether that move was made there by Coach Kate Upton to maybe add a bit more steadiness and attack for this DC side.
Well, I do know that Al McDonald is actually she was a circle defender that's moved out into the mid-court, so you know that may be why.
Yeah, often
Kate Upton's
defensive centres are fairly steady, but they also will add that extra bit of pressure, which they definitely need down there, and particularly on those centre passes. You know, they might look to sort of go back to a 2-on-1 on that centre pass and really hold Stewart up.
That was great defensive pressure from Michaela Wilson. Really then not allowing, she wasn't standing in the one spot. She was moving her feet, moving around, making it really hard for the attacker to know where to put the ball. She's driving down through court. Need a lot more work from her through there to steady the ship.
Nice tip there by Bennett's.
Yeah, they're
but
certainly
unfortunately infringed.
Yeah, they're certainly going for everything. Lightning. Hogan to Lightning. Hogan to Nickel.
She caught that by Lightning. I knew exactly what you meant, Elle, as Nickel puts the money in the bank.
If anyone's wondering why sometimes I'm laughing a little bit too much. I don't get out much. I've got a 6-month-old at home. So when I'm sitting next to Susan Meany, she does make me laugh often with her commentary.
I'm just trying to keep you entertained, Elle. Nice long vision there. Out of defence by Blaze.
Into
this
McDonald.
Is looking really good. That's a really good, great attacking play there from defence straight down to Nickel under the post.
Well, I think McDonald certainly made a difference. She's sort of really bringing that momentum into that attack. It's something that they were kind of probably lacked.
And they're swapping centre for centre here.
Yep.
As Maddie Carter comes in.
Kelsey Rainbow takes a seat on the bench, has a chat to Alyssa Kent, their coach. Oh, McDonald putting a high ball in. Not sure if it was too high though. Probably could have been a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Oh, very good rebound there by Oliver. Lightning with the ball. Yeah. And Mark Henning, the umpire, really making sure he's dictating those terms there. Get out of play and out of the way.
I don't know about you, but I was getting out of the way and I wasn't even out there. As we see Stewart swing.
Woo.
And probably a bit too far over there. This is a real opportunity for DC to really get back into this game.
And it was interesting, the last quarter, the 5-minute block they had a run on in the middle 5-minute block. It's reversed this time. Blaze have got their run on in the middle 5 block.
Yep.
Hogan with quite a long shot. She's going to take it. She went confidently to the post. I love seeing that. I love a goal that goes to the post.
I always think too, like, I mean, when you've got a player like of Nichols' height under the post, back yourself on the shot. I mean, you've got her in a good rebounding position too. But hopefully you sink it first. As we see Carter.
Carter on the edge, balking.
Nice.
5 times.
Love a good balk, Al.
I do. Think it's great. Opens it up. Coppinger with the ball. They need to get some flow on here, making sure they do their prelim moves, the Blaze, just to make sure they lose that defender and get the ball moving. So it's all about timing, all about space awareness.
Yep. As we see the setup here with Carter out of play, the 2 mid-court players splitting.
Hogan in the front. That's that front position you're telling her to take, Suze.
Could have been a goaler, maybe, Al. Maybe not.
I'm sure you can. Don't you do a little bit of work with the Firebirds goalers, Susie? I think they're doing all right.
Oh, I did a little bit. Just more with Gretel's hair. As we see Hogan.
Oh, Al Bennett's very good challenge and attempt at that intercept.
Yeah. I'd like to watch even that ball there, that when Hopkin had that delivery option, and I thought she could have put that ball into Nickel. She's got the height advantage, she's got the elevation, and you know, if the ball's put in the right space, you're going to draw the contact. There's changes aplenty happening here.
Oh, and now we've got Michaela Vaughan going to the bench for the Lightning. And we've got Amelia Brock coming in at goal shooter, who's a very tall player that was on the Fury training list this year. So it'll be good to see how she stands up.
Yeah, and look, in the semi, she came on, shot 15 from 16 at 94%. So she does change it a little bit in that attacking. So it goes from a bit more of a moving circle. She has that ability to hold space quite well for Lightning.
What I'm loving is the 2 coaches, so Alyssa Kent with Lightning and Katie Upton with Blaze, really utilising their bench, making the changes. Yeah, not going to die wondering, and utilising the changes to bring something fresh and new to their game plan. So they've obviously got a few different options that they can put out there, and it's good to see them using it.
And we've just seen a surge here from Force. They've scored the last 4 goals in a row.
You love Force. The Blaze.
Blaze. The Blaze are a force tonight to be reckoned with.
Let the force be with you.
Yes, the force is
Blaze.
with them at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is.
You know, you think of that change too. You know, it has settled that attack in. They are looking a lot more.
Fiona Thiemann there, who was obviously with the Adelaide Thunderbirds this year, but has played previously with the Lightning. They're cheering her team on behind their bench. Good to see you there, Fee. We do have a number of the Vixens. I know Coach Simone McInnes and her assistant Di Honey are up there taking notes.
It's all about the notes.
It is about the notes and about succession planning for obviously their groups moving forward. So,
yeah. And that's one thing that's been very strong in Victorian netball over the years is the depth of players that we have, and not only represented in our sides here with Melbourne Vixens and the Collingwood Magpies, but also many of the other sides that play in the Suncourt Super Netball. There's a lot of Victorian netballers. Great defensive pressure there by Danny Stewart.
Again, she will go all day. I love how rough she is to the contest. She has a go. She doesn't pull out. She is a terrier. I love it.
Nice. Nickel swings it out.
McDonald, she was thinking that Bayless was going to the top for a triangle, but didn't pay off for them. So Lightning into attack. They're moving the ball through. They use Bennett's through that midcourt a lot.
They do provide a lot of the attacking opportunities, Oliver and Bennett's, which I actually quite like. I think it allows a deeper second phase penetration for the attack end.
I really want to see Brock. She's moving around a lot. I wanted to see her stand and hold. So get that middle of the circle and set up for the lob.
Here she goes.
You can see Sinclair taking a nice drive in. Drew the penalty on Wilson. Livesley out of play. And Brock, she's got the 1 foot forward shot too.
They do.
I call it the Catherine Cox attack end goaling style.
McDonald off to Wilson, to Hogan.
So they've passed it 4 times before they've got it into the goal third on their centre pass. But that's a better pass into Nickel from Hogan.
And I guess Oliver in that position as a defender, she's probably caught, you know, or she is actually caught at this moment in a little bit between. She's not putting the pressure really on Hogan, and she's not back helping double defence with Worth. So they've got to be definite, I think, one or the other. If you're in the middle of nothing, then you're not putting pressure on either one.
Yeah, exactly. Get caught in a bit of no man's land.
Yes.
That's what we call it. Well, they are challenging the Blaze. You can see there's been a couple of times where they've come through and tipped those balls, and what they want to try and do is turn those into intercepts so they have possession of the ball. Brock. Nice shot by Brock. Swish, actually, I'd call that.
She delivered.
McDonald with the centre pass for Blaze.
Hogan doing a mountain of work for Blaze out the front. And again, that's that long ball across to that pocket that they perhaps need to look for a different option. You know, whether the break back comes from Bayless back up, or they look to reset that ball.
Yeah, they're wanting to try and force that into the pocket a couple of times, that high ball in. Nice pass into Brock. She was a bit off balance.
But it's promising that hold. I think that's what she can really provide as a player on that 1v1 contest. She can protect a lot of space.
Hogan takes the pass. As the half-time siren goes, umpires get the ball, have a chat about whose centre pass is going to be next. As we go, the girls go to the huddle, and no doubt they're going to be talking about what they're going to do to break this score, because it's very close here at the State Netball Hockey Centre. Melbourne University Lightning 22, DC North Blaze 21.
Just a moment, we're going to be talking to a couple of Melbourne Vixens and have a little chat to Emily Maddox and Joe Weston.
here with Melbourne University Lightning versus the DC Northeast Blaze as we take the centre pass by the Lightning. We can see the scores, Melbourne Uni 22 to DC North Blaze 21. Very tight contest here at the State Netball Hockey Centre.
And we've seen some changes back. We've seen Rainbow come back into the centre.
There seems to be both coaches not afraid to use their bench, making sure that they go through their options there to try and make a change to make the difference. Now let's go through some of the stats from the second quarter. We had Michaela Vaughan shooting at 83%, Gabby Sinclair at 60%, Amelia Brock came on midway through that term shooting at 75%. For the Blaze, Libby Nicol shooting at 86 for that quarter, so she's going well because both of her and Libby Nicol and Sarah Hogan shooting at 100% in the first quarter. And then Sarah Hogan also shooting at 80% in that quarter. So far Blaze shooting the better of the two teams. Another interesting fact, first quarter they were down on scoring off their centre pass but turned that around with an 89% scoring off their centre pass, so 8 from 9, and the Lightning only having 7 out of 10. So as we can see there, Blaze really stepping it up in the defensive pressure there. Livesley taking that ball. They're trying to get it out now into attack.
Yep. Just need to push that pass. It was a little bit telegraphed. Coppinger looking for Wilson, who's covered. Across to McDonald. Hogan. Just falls short. I'm not sure if she was touched on the arm then, or we'll claim it as a pass.
Well, yeah, pass. I go to claim those as a pass. As the Lightning move it through mid-court pretty quick down into their attack end. Sinclair with the ball, looking for that tall shooter.
Yeah, it's a nice hold. It's a great,
with Amelia Brock.
Easy space to see for a feeder. She sets up really, really well.
Well, she's a great, strong target. So Nicol there calling under the post for the Blaze. Oh, McDonald probably forcing it a little too late. It was
like
open
a defender's feed.
It was, and look, to be fair, she has been a defender, so.
I think just the step on. I mean, that's always a coach's pet hate, is when you take that step on to feed. Gee, I'm nearly in the action here.
Yeah, I thought you were going to jump out your seat and you were itching to get that ball. Yeah. Livesley into Wilson, out of defence, heaving it to McDonald. The long court ball down to Hogan.
Yeah, and Hogan's obviously coming out, and Lightning have decided to go with the two defenders back on Nicol, but she's still able to get the ball, put it through.
Lightning with the centre pass.
I'd love to see Blaze mix up their centre pass defence. They've been very much going a one-on-one with Danny Stewart, who's coming out and taking that easily. And as much as, yes, it's one-on-one pressure, it's allowing an easy first phase take and then a second phase as well. So, you know, maybe just coming back. McDonald and assisting Coppinger there would be a better option.
Well, it's just a variety that sometimes, you know, the attacking players will get caught up on because you're expecting the one-on-one pressure and suddenly you've double teamed.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for every pass.
Well, it draws Hogan up. Hogan's got to come up, and then you've got two who can create that pressure.
Well, a force
well
ball.
Done. Great front position there.
Mary Livesley was certainly, you know, not going to let that ball
a bit of elbow
through.
to elbow here.
Yeah, there's pressure from the defenders from Blaze. Great lean by Wilson, but Sinclair sinks it.
Yep. Certainly did.
Kelsey Rainbow with the centre pass to Stewart, who again is getting that ball fairly easily.
Yeah.
Sloppy hands by Brock there. She needs to pull that ball in.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky got Bennett's on your side. That wing defence hunting around there on that transverse line.
Yeah, and there's no moment that you really can disengage from a game. You saw Bennett's there, knew that ball was coming across, or it possibly could, as we see a bit of a caution coming from umpire Mark Henning on McDonald.
As you can see in the replay there, just a bit late. Probably could have pulled out and not hit Oliver.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, tenacious Livesley. I like that. Really going for that contest.
And again,
a bit
Bennett's,
sloppy.
Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning before, is that, you know, Bennett's has that awareness. She's always engaged in the game. She's watching where those opportunities are, and she's almost hunting across that transverse line for when Blaze decide to take that attacking movement.
Strong stuff by Stewart on that circle edge.
Space is there for Brock. But they decide to go to Sinclair.
Great
She sinks
shooting.
it.
She was a bit down, only 60% last quarter, so she'll be wanting to actually pick that stat up there. Great double defence on that centre pass. Centre dropping back there into the transverse line.
Yeah.
Well done,
Well
Ella
done.
Bayliss.
They really need to convert here, Blaze, to stay in touch. Lightning have got a bit of a run on here. Takes her time.
Nickel under the post. And she scores.
You can see a bit of movement happening on the Blaze bench.
Great second phase drive there by Kelsey Rainbow to hit the circle edge. Danny Stewart finding her.
Nice balk there by Danny Stewart.
Well, both defenders were drawn to that balk back on to Brock, which enabled Sinclair to just pop forward. Good rebound by Brock to score the goal. DC Northeast Blaze centre pass, McDonald to take it. Option to go back. You can see MU Lightning putting on more of a zone defence off the body.
Yep, so they're protecting that space, and the reason they're doing that as a mid-court combination is to stop that penetration onto the top of the circle, so the feed has to come from further out. And they work as a unit to sort of keep those players off that circle edge.
Melbourne University Lightning taking the centre pass to Sinclair. Again, they want to utilise Danny Stewart with that ball. Once it's in her hands, I think they feel a bit safe. Brock scored. It's going goal for goal the last couple of minutes as we can see the replay into Brockian. Strong take.
Yeah. So there's a four-goal buffer here with 8 minutes to go. Blaze really want to stay in touch with Lightning here. And again, Bennett's just fantastic. She's had a really great patch where she's just really been onto anything and made every opportunity count.
Both attack and defence.
Yeah.
So she's been able to, which is really, when I think of good wing defenders like our Melbourne Vixens coach Simone McInnes, who we played with, was
Absolute
amazing ability to be able to defend, but as soon as she got the ball or had her hand in an intercept, be able to attack down the court.
Is she a Geelong girl, Elle?
I think she's got a statue out the front of Cardinia Park, which she reminds me of every time I drive past it. McDonald to take the ball for Blaze. Again, it's 6 goals here to Lightning, so Blaze really need to make sure they steady the ship by sinking this one with Hogan out the front.
Yeah, she needs to get back in the game. They play really strong when Hogan gets the ball a lot. She feeds extremely well into Nickel.
Oliver put out of play, which was lucky.
Okay, now Blaze really need to get on this. This is where I'd love McDonald to come back, and she's going to, which is great. She's got to probably turn around and contest
see
that
the ball. You can't intercept it if you can't see it, Susie.
No.
So they've got to put the pressure on here, Blaze.
Stewart, bounce pass. You loved a good bounce pass coming into you, didn't you?
No, I hated them.
Used to tell me about it too.
Well done by Sinclair there. Very smart play. Oh, Mary Livesley taking
Great
a
positioning.
great rebound under a lot of pressure. Worth coming out for the fly.
Yeah. So again, it's that pressure that's building up is allowing Worth that opportunity to view and have a go at that ball, because that pass is being put under pressure and it's been putting up a bit. Hogan swings to the top. That's a lot better for Blaze.
I think Blaze have just got to be careful. They're seeing that the option is open long, but they're actually, Melbourne University Lightning are setting that up to make it look like that. So they've really got to be careful as we see a ball go out the back of the court. We can't have that by the Blaze. We need them to stay in this contest, not let this buffer out.
4 goals at the moment. Did you see Rainbow?
Good hand on the ball there by Bayliss, unfortunately.
Well done. Good eyes by Wilson. She's taken it and driven out. Love it when a goal defence takes that ball out on an intercept and they run like a rocket.
Oh, and great balk there by Bayliss. She faked it over to her other attacker and it opened up Nickel under the post. Well done, Blaze.
Yeah. So they've pegged a couple back here, Blaze. They've got to continue this pressure to stay in this game.
Second phase to Stewart in the Lightning
Brock
attack
sets
end.
the screen.
And Sinclair just missed a couple. She's got to make sure she transitions well and gets onto Wilson because Wilson's doing a lot of havoc through court now.
Yeah, and they're really positioning well, Wilson and Livesley, on their rebounding. They're taking that front position as the two shooters
Fighting
fight.
over it.
Nickel was in a pickle.
I've lost it. Nickel was in a pickle.
Well, they both were fighting over it.
And as a tall player, I just would have said, Hogan, you just get
It's
it.
fine. Hogan, don't be a hero. Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, no, I was leaving that
I'll stop
wide
there.
open for you.
Okay, we've got a tight ball game again.
2 goals in it.
Yeah, really crucial 4 minutes here, Elle, as we head into three-quarter time. Both teams will really want to put the foot down a bit here.
Well, it's probably the time for Blaze. They've got to step up. They want to make a challenge here and get a couple on the board. Back to 1. Lightning centre pass.
Well done. And that pressure just there from McDonald made Stewart come up, take it higher, as we see Rainbow swings around.
And they're looking for that high ball over the screen. Amelia Brock to take it. Can see her taking a big deep breath there before she shoots it. Nice and composed.
She is. As we see a bit of a centre. Oh, that's a surprise move.
Well, I think Rainbow, yeah, she thought she was going on the bench, so she is. She's like, thank goodness. I think I need a little sip of drink.
We've got Carter.
Maddie Carter going on to wing defence, and Al Bennett, who has played a lot of centre, but as we were talking her up, playing a great role at wing defence, has moved into that centre position.
Yeah, and Alyssa McLeod or Alyssa Kent might be looking for some fresh legs in bringing that ball out and looking to really curb the influence of Bayliss down there and get Bennett into attack.
Well, because Blaze have really come back in this last couple of minutes, probably look to change it up, just to
put a
stop
bit
the
more
momentum.
defensive pressure, as we see Sinclair feeding back to Carter. Sinclair again at the top, swings back. A lot better pressure, stopping that direct route into Brock.
Well, we saw
Yes,
Blaze defenders actually tunnelling both mid-court players, Bennett's, into that top of that circle, so they stuff the pass up. So, as we see here, it's gone into Amelia Brock quite easily from that throw-in.
Bayliss straight in. Do you know what? That ball is actually on. I like that she's looking into Nickel, but it's just the execution of the pass, and they really have struggled with that for a lot of this game. They've probably had a good 3 or 4 balls that have gone over that baseline from just poor execution.
And look, if you throw 1, don't throw 3. That's my... that's coming with my coach's head on. Head on. You've just got to tighten up, and it's really important. Like in a grand final, it's the little things that count. So,
well, it gives them the opportunity here. They score this and they get another centre pass.
oh, and I think whoever passed it, got to thank Michaela Vaughan for saving that rebound. Coppinger with the ball, goes back to Livesley, through Hogan. Good mid-court drive there by Hogan. Bayliss with the ball on the outside. Hogan again.
Nice. And just the quickness of that release of that ball, it's so much better. And Nickel is ready for it. So just put that ball up. You're going to draw the contact from Worth, on the contest.
1 goal in it with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go.
Oh. And the same thing there. As a mid-courter, you really are, you try to be aware of the limitations of the stretch of a player, and that was just a little bit far for Brock then. But no doubt Stewart will work hard to get this one back.
Coppinger seems to really be taking on that defensive pressure from Stewart now.
Yep.
I like to see that. I think she's worked hard into the game, Coppinger. Hogan on the outside with the ball for Blaze.
They'll be wanting to, they've got 34 seconds left here. They'll be wanting to get this one in to draw it back to, or to draw level.
We've got a contact, I think, from Worth. Kate Wright telling the players out there, the umpire.
Used to tell you a bit too, Al.
They always used to tell me, Suze.
And I love the way you just smile back, murmur.
Well,
As we see 7 seconds to go.
Blaze.
Put it in. I'd be putting it in.
Oh,
It's a little bit too far. And
possibly.
we're all tied up.
What a
33
game.
apiece here at the State Netball Hockey Centre in the 2007 VNL Championship Grand Final between Melbourne Uni Lightning and DC North Blaze.
What a game.
It's been good. I mean, it's been interesting. All the quarters you've had bits where teams have had a flow, but the other one's been able to hang in there and get it back. And both teams have worked hard to at the end of each quarter to still be in a position when they might not have been halfway through. They might have been chasing to draw back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And as we see on screen now, Alyssa Kemp, really wanting to get everything out of her players, reinforcing those key points. What would you be saying at this point, Al?
Oh, gosh. Keep working hard.
Yeah, I think that defensive pressure is important.
I felt maybe towards the end there, we were getting a little bit sloppy. We were getting a bit, just wanting to take the straight lead drives, just wanting to put the ball in, a bit sloppy.
Yeah,
Not
just go back to that composed attacking. They're definitely turning over the ball. I think they're creating that pressure, but a couple of those connections to Brock were probably just beyond her reach a little bit, and maybe holding on to it, re-offering on that feed maybe.
We can see Katie Upton there talking to her troops, who came back marvellously in that third quarter.
Yeah,
they were down. They could have let it go. It could have been 10 goals down by this point. So they've really challenged hard.
Yeah, and I think
to come back.
McDonald's been a nice steadying influence in the middle there. And we did mention in the call earlier that about when Hogan's involved in that play, she's working that front space, she's getting involved with those feeds into nickel. They really do lift, and that's when that momentum came, I think, in that last couple of minutes.
And Wilson in that quarter, I thought, really stepped up.
Yeah, she did.
Took the game
on.
on.
They both did. They really positioned well. So, not only over the shot, over the high feeds that were coming in, and they were really positioning well on their rebounding, and they've got to keep doing that. So any opportunity that they can get to repel that attack and get that ball down, they need.
So we're looking here at the stats for MU Lightning for the third quarter. Amelia Brock, 100%. She was sitting on, and Gabby Sinclair at 43. So she did have a little bit of a patch there where she struggled and missed some goals. So she missed, well, I don't actually know that. I haven't given that to me. So all I know is she shot 43%. Sorry, Gabby Sinclair. You could have only had a couple of shots at goal. And with their centre passes, they were both converting at 75%, which is a good percentage for both teams, so you can see it's been a quality quarter. Blaze, Libby Nickel, 100%. So far in this match, 2 quarters at 100%, the other at 86. And Sarah Hogan, the goal attack at 50%, so we need her work rate up. Yep. We need her to be able to work hard outside that circle, but then get in that front position and be that option and put the goal in if they're needed. Yeah,
look, I think in a nutshell, if Blaze are going to win this game, they've got to get their hand on ball in defence and get it down to Nickel. Be steady on that feed, get it into her, and they're a strong chance to win this game. Lightning, on the other hand, I mean, they're getting their hand to a bit of ball. Their defensive pressure throughout the quarter has been a real trademark of this game. As we see them heading into attack, but again, it's that force feed, and that's what they've really got to pick their feeds, execute it. Brock's got to be strong when she presents on that feed.
Oh, great ball from Bayless into McDonald.
Oh, well done. Hogan's there.
You can see the screen being set there.
Yep, put it up, put it up.
I think you're cheering,
aren't you?
Well done, Nickel. Great take.
I just like to see, I think the feeders to have that confidence to put that ball in. And Nickel knows what she's doing in there and that positioning. And a couple of times there she was paired up against Oliver, who is a bit shorter. So
good
sometimes
ball.
You just got to trust it.
Hogan there to Bayliss. Bayliss challenge, but umpire seeing the penalty on the outside. Great feed in, really quick feed by Bayliss into Nickel.
Yeah, that's the one you want. I mean, as an attacker, and as you would know, Elle, as a goaler, yeah, when you're in that holding position and you get strong and the ball doesn't come in and you have to reoffer around, it's very, very difficult at times, particularly for a shooter who's 2-on-2.
Especially when you're playing on
Great
good defenders.
pressure.
Great pressure there by Blaze. I think that's what Kate Upton would have been talking about in that break. Put that pressure on. It's every player. There's going to be 7 attackers, 7 defenders on the court. Just can't be left to the circle defenders to put the pressure on. Yeah,
they're really up here, Blaze, as they've come out. So they've got the voice going on court. They're reoffering.
McDonald working hard, finding Bayliss on that circle edge. Nickel drives the base around Worth.
And Lightning here really need to, find their voice as a team. They've got to stick tight, hold this little bit of wave of momentum by making sure they're converting on their centre passes and ensuring they're putting the pressure on to try and create turnovers.
Wilson to Bayliss to Hogan. McDonald's been really strong in that centre position.
Yeah, they've found her quite well on the outside of the circle as we see Hogan take the shot.
She likes it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe it. We were talking before about Blaze staying in touch in the last 4 minutes of that third quarter, and now we see, nearly the 12-minute mark, Blaze are 4 goals up.
Strong take there by Amelia Brock with the 2 Blaze defenders really putting that pressure on that high ball in. And that's probably the difference. You really have to go strong on that ball because the Blaze circle defenders are quality defenders.
Yeah, and they've got into the game. I just question, I wonder whether maybe in Alyssa Kent's mind, maybe she might look to her bench to maybe put Sinclair on to get a bit more movement to try and break up. As we see again, a feed put in that probably really shouldn't have been in, and Brock wasn't even aware that it was even coming.
Yeah, and unlucky from Livesley there not to actually intercept it.
Yes.
Coppinger's certainly grown throughout the game too. Putting the pressure on Stewart. You can see Stewart with the ball
Sinclair
on the circle edge.
Barging her way through the pressure of Wilson and Livesley.
Brock getting the penalty. The pressure's on too for these shooters now with this game, very close.
Yep.
Pressure's on the shooters to make sure that they convert any opportunities that they get.
Yep.
Bayliss with the ball. She often looks a bit effortless. Just flicks it off.
Goes
McDonald, Hogan to Bayliss on the outside.
Yeah.
Finds Nickel. You can see that connection there between Bayliss and Nickel. When the ball goes to Bayliss, that's what she's looking for.
Yeah, and I think Hogan at the moment's being allowed to roam a bit, and that becomes hard. As much as they're covering Nickel, it becomes hard to defend because for the defenders of Lightning, there's a spare player all the time, so the pressure comes off because they have that ability to throw to Hogan easily on the outside, and it's just when she can find the feed or Bayliss are finding that feed. So, they've got some decisions to make here, Lightning, how they approach their defence. I've noticed they're trying to go into a defensive pattern of where the 2 are doing a bit of a mid-court press.
Oh, fabulous ball in. Well done, Ella Bayliss. Good vision,
and
good
that's
execution.
Happened, yeah, because they've forced them to change their defence, and that press is there, so the player was found at the back.
They're trying to hunt for the ball because they want to turn it over. Melbourne Uni 36, DC North Blaze 39.
And the experienced head of Stewart here is really important. I'd be maybe looking to make a bit of a movement change, just a strategic change up front.
Yeah, well, you don't want it to blow out here. Like what we said with Blaze last quarter when they had the ability to stop that flow and to dig it in. They can't let this Blaze run on continue.
Yeah, and I've just seen over on the bench a bit of a discussion happening between Alyssa Kent and Michaela Vaughan.
Oh, well done, Oliver.
Maybe
great contest to the ball.
Maybe they're one of the hundreds tuning into our feed today on Facebook.
That was great by the MU Lighting defenders. You can see the ball's got down into the Lightning attack end quickly. Sinclair with the ball now, going for the shot for goal. Needs to sink it, and she does.
Yeah, when you have a holding shooter, I mean, Amelia Brock's a great player when the ball's being put in and it's safely being taken. But yeah, when that feed's not happening, it's really clogging up that circle. Sinclair's having to do a mountain of work outside and can't even get into the circle to really take a shot within scoring range. It's very congested. And
Lightning have got to be careful now. Brock's holding and only holding. Livesley knows that, who's the goalkeeper for Blaze, so she's had the ability to hunt.
It's very predictable.
So that has enabled a few turnovers and wishy-washy passes that have been intercepted. Blaze with the centre pass.
But having said that, I mean, Lightning are only an intercept away and, you know, another centre pass from clawing this back to a 1-goal deficit.
Well
Swings
done,
on. Well done.
Oh, bad luck, Al Bennett's trying to have a jump across the edge of the circle without going offside. Unfortunately, she did, so the ball's with Blaze. Oh, Libby Nicol on the fingertips. She's just pulled that one in. Oh, throw in Blaze.
And look at the darting eyes of Mark Henning as he's looking around. It's a tough job as an umpire. He's looking at everything on that. Looks like a chameleon. He's got chameleon eyes.
Nicol steadying the ship for the Blaze. You can see there the Blaze supporters come out in force tonight, Suze.
That's what I was talking about, the force of the Blaze and the Blaze of the force.
Well done, Amelia Brock, standing tall there.
Brock's become the rock down there.
I hope you're enjoying this listening at home because I'm cracking up.
Just getting caught up in the excitement. There's 7 minutes to go.
Oh! Coppinger, hard
it's
pull
tough
there.
Contest, and that's the line that Danny Stewart plays on. And, you know, she puts herself in the position to try and create those turnovers, but just a little bit far on that occasion. Oh,
well done.
Well
Good
done.
pressure there
just
by
too
Oliver.
Slow on the release there from Bayliss. It was pretty much telegraphed.
Bennett's with the ball.
Well done, McDonald. Well covered. She's been fantastic in her defensive role there in centre. Need to steady here, make sure of this. Blaze.
They've worked it through quite nicely. Hogan not happy with that distance. She wants to go
pressure.
again.
But even the pressure on that second feed, and that's what a player like Nicol does, where Oliver needs to be up putting pressure on Hogan and not allowing that repositioning. They're caught back on Nicol. As we see Brock take the ball under the post.
DC North Blaze leading by 3 over Melbourne Uni with 6 minutes to go. As you said, that in netball, it's only a couple of intercepts and you can peg this back. Bayliss into Nicol. Worth called for holding.
Could be a draw, Al. We could be here a while.
We could be here all night. Oh,
the husbands will be right with the kids, won't they?
4 kids each.
Yeah. Well done. Fantastic.
Oh, well done, Oliver. And that's the thing, as a good defender, you want to be ready for every rebound.
She's giving away centimetres there, and that positioning was just fantastic under the post.
Well, a lot of people will think that's a short shot. Well, she'll get it in, but no.
Here's
I've seen World Championships won like that.
Well done. And great credit to Amelia Block. She's really got herself back into this game. She's sunk the last 3 shots under enormous pressure.
Well, Oliver is like, that was my goal.
Yeah, and look, you know, she sinks this one here, and they're only 1 goal down.
She's called it on the outside. Maybe an advantage.
No advantage on the outside.
No, but it should have been because the pass went in. Oh, anyway. Carry on.
Should have been.
Could have been, would have been.
You go and tell Kate Wright.
No, it's fine.
She's doing a great job. Both umpires have been fantastic.
They have.
Tonight.
And this is the quality that we've got here. And these 2 umpires are in Suncorp Super Netball, as we see a breaking call by Hogan. 42-43. Melbourne Uni down by 1.
Breaking. I've been dragged for breaking.
Yeah, we don't like it. Oh, McDonald gets the hand. You said it. Her defensive pressure has been great as a centre.
And I feel that they're just starting to get a bit more of an upper hand than mid-court from Blaze. I felt early they were being beaten a bit, and particularly the influence of Stewart in attack was quite large, whereas now, you know, I feel that Blaze is starting to get that upper hand. They're steady. Bit of a piff.
We're not sure we want the high balls at this point of the game. Oh, Kelsey Rainbow. Good challenge there, coming around the body. Unlucky to be called. Ball into Nickel. Blaze get the opportunity here to go up by 2.
And the crowd will really get into this game. It's a great atmosphere here at the State Netball Hockey Centre. 2 goals the margin.
Why
favour
wouldn't it
Blaze.
be? 2 goals. All the games tonight have been played under this match intensity. As we see there, Blaze take the intercept.
And even their transitioning is really strong.
Yeah, they've really
And you wonder
improved from
whether-
the start of the game to now with that. As we can see here, the replay, great intercept. Coppinger following that ball up, loose ball up. Coppinger with the ball on the transverse line into Blaze attack. Hogan to McDonald. Hogan again. Setting it up for Nickel.
Such an important shot, this. And she sinks it. We've got a 3-goal margin here with under 3 minutes to play.
We can see all the Netball Victoria staff. Jenny Dole there walking past me, thinking medal presentations. Who's it going to be? We've got a 3-goal game.
As we've got Hogan putting it into Nickel.
Oh, great
We've
take.
seen that. They've grown in confidence really in this last quarter. It's been really good to see the midcourt and particularly Hogan just letting that ball go to Nickel, and she's not letting them down at all. Lightning is still in this. They need to convert this goal.
That's the thing
Get
in
the next one
netball.
back.
It can be centre pass, bang, bang, and within 10 seconds you can score. So,
But it's got to happen now. They've got to turn it over.
oh, not going to do that on the second
No.
phase like that. Well done, Bayliss.
Lovely drop.
She
It's
has
just
really put that
miscommunication
ball
there
in
by
well.
Rainbow and Bennett.
You can see Lightning going into attack. Rainbow on the circle edge, trying to find Sinclair. A challenge by Wilson, who's put out of play.
She'll step this in. Great shot. Minute 30 to go on the clock here at the State Netball Hockey Centre, and it's Blaze leading by 3 goals, 47-44.
McDonald with the centre pass for Blaze. Using the back space for Coppinger and Wilson. Bayliss balking, standing still, standing around there, trying to do a little bit of time wasting, I think.
Playing it around
Ball
to be sure.
into Nickel. Gosh, she's been strong tonight, Nickel.
Yeah. They've grown into the game. There was a little bit of uncertainty there from the pressure that was happening from Lightning, but now
You can see the crowd here for Blaze. They're cheering. Well done, Ty Coppinger.
don't tell me Blaze are on fire, El.
Well, they're a force, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got that right.
Danny Stewart with the ball outside for Lightning.
Yeah.
Well done, good feed into Brock.
Good shot. Time's running out for Lightning.
Got
As we see
30
Blaze
seconds to go.
take a centre pass. The 3-goal margin. This is where you'd love, actually I'm probably a bit against it, the 2-point rule. But
Well,
it's certainly interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be. You'd just be trying to do the long bombs. Hogan with the ball. McDonald on the outside. Into Nickel. She's taking the ball with ease now, doing it with
Yeah.
one hand.
She's just been huge in this last quarter.
Oh, you can see the bench there. You can see the coaching staff. Very excited. They can't believe it.
And congratulations to DC North Blaze, winning the 2017 VNL Championship Final, 49 goals to a very well played as well game by Melbourne University Lightning. Great game, wasn't it, El?
Fabulous game. And to think how much it ebbed and flowed, the whole contest. So,
Yeah, it did.
from the start, you just thought Melbourne Uni were up, then DC North Blaze were up.
Lightning definitely had their opportunities. I just felt, to come into that last quarter, it was 33 all. And they just lacked that flow in that attack end. And that was brought by the pressure that, not only came through the mid-court, but I thought that Wilson and Livesley really held that attack end up, and that created the turnovers. And Nickel just stepped up. Hogan was fantastic. And they were able to convert, and they got away to that lead, and it just became a bit unattainable for Lightning.
Well, I just thought probably the opposite happened. So I felt MU Lightning at the start, their defence end was on fire, and they were getting the tips, and that was driving, their attack play through court. And their full court pressure was amazing. I felt the Blaze grew into the match.
Yeah, so the opposite happened in the second
The opposite
half.
happened, and suddenly the last quarter happened, and Blaze had a spark. They were on fire. They walked out there with their heads held high.
Yeah, but they really wanted to
They
take
wanted
it.
it.
The game needed to be taken. It was what team was going to step up, and Blaze certainly did that. And, it's a credit to both teams. They've had outstanding seasons, and they've both, played each other 4 times, and they've won 2 games each. And it was just that crucial one at the end that Blaze are the ones that stood up when it counted.
And just a few stats there for those listening at home. MU Lightning, Amelia Brock, goal shooter, was 100% in that last quarter, and Gabby Sinclair was 100% as well. And for Blaze, just amazing shooting from Libby Nicol, who had a sensational match, was at 86%. And got most of the opportunities there. And Sarah Hogan at goal attack was 100%, which we stated in the third quarter that she needed to step up from 60. So she's certainly did that. Blaze in the last quarter had an 86 turnover conversion on their centre passes to only 67% for MU Lightning. So a telling factor there is if you get the centre pass, you get it through and you score off it, then you're going to win the contest.
Yeah, that's right. But we've had a very exciting night here at the State Netball Hockey Centre. We saw Geelong Cougars win the 19 and under final, defeating Hume City Falcons. In the Division 1, we saw Geelong Cougars defeat DC North Blaze. And then in this championship final, we've seen DC Blaze defeat Melbourne University. So some great netball showcased here at the State Netball Hockey Centre on this cold wintry night. Blaze have certainly set it alight.
They certainly have. And for the presentations here, you can see both clubs, you can see Alyssa Kent here talking to her players, no doubt telling them how proud she is of them, and they did finish first overall throughout the centre, so minor premiers, not being able to take it out, but a young group there, mix of some more senior athletes, but a lot of young players. I'm sure they'll come back next year, with the fire in the belly. And then as we can see here, DC Northeast Blaze, absolutely ecstatic, clapping and cheering to their supporters who have come out. Katie Upton there.
Yeah, she'd be wrapped. I mean,
quite emotional, really.
Both coaches, asked
here
a lot.
We go. We love that.
Both coaches asked their charges to step up, and Blaze did a great job, so she'll be very excited.
We're probably getting ready now for the presentations, as you can see Katie Upton there, their family. It really is exciting. It's.
Who were your standout players for the game, Elle?
Well, look, I'm a goaler, and I loved Libby Nicol.
Of course you are. Here we go. We could be here all night.
I thought Nicol and Wilson, they're my two. I thought that they grew as the contest went on and were key players. The other one with the injection of McDonald, I thought that her defensive pressure really certainly helped Blaze. For MU Lightning, Danny Stewart was great early. And Al Bennett, I thought, worked tirelessly and had really good patches. Oliver started well, but probably didn't end the game as well as she started.
I just felt their defence here maybe ran out of legs a little bit in the end. But, yeah, look, I agree with you in that Nicol played well. I thought the injection of McDonald into the mid-court definitely paid dividends and was fantastic. Hogan was great too. I think she really provided that stability out front with Bayliss. It'll be a hard one to pick.
I'm not sure who gets the job at picking, but glad it's not us, Suze.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So as everyone's getting ready for presentations, it certainly has been an exciting season. And look, the top probably four, the finals have been all very close games. But we'll hand it over now to the court announcer to carry on with the presentations.
Did not disappoint. And folks, the fans have been great. Always packed house here in the State Netball Hockey Centre. Why don't you just give us a round of applause for the DC Northeast Blaze and the Melbourne University Lightning fans. You guys have been great today. As we move to the presentations for the Championship Division Grand Final, I'd like to welcome you and put your hands together presenting for and Simone McInnes, and the head coach of the Melbourne Vixens. Why don't you give them a round of applause, folks? Now, our first presentation, I'd like to invite Rosie King forward, just a special presentation. Someone who can't make the VN Awards night next Friday, so we'd like to recognise her right here. When you put your heads together, the court supervisor, Jenny Dole. We'll pay homage to all the fantastic work and the dedication she's thrown down the season as a little token of appreciation. Can't get away that easy, Jenny. You can't make the awards, so I'll look after you here. Congratulations, Jenny. Have a little photo. Now, as they have a photo together, our next presentation goes to the umpires. Without them, we'd be going netball. And the following award is named in honour of Warren McConchie, a Netball Victorian Life Netball Hall of Fame member of Team of the Century and a legend of the game. Warren has played an integral part in the development of netball nationally and internationally. She was actively involved in the sport as an AA umpire and as a state and national coach and player. The award recognises the 3 umpires selected to officiate the Championship Division Grand Final and celebrates excellence in umpiring. I'd like to invite Rosie King, the CEO of Netball Victoria, back out here to present the award in honour of Laura. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together to congratulate the VNL Championship Division Grand Final umpires. First of all, Mark Henning. And Kate Wright. And Andrea Booth. Full 3 of the umpiring team will come back now. We'll have a photo together with Rosie. Congratulations, a great honour and great to celebrate Laura and her contribution to the sport. Folks, one more time, let's have a photo together. A round of applause for today's umpires. As we move on with the presentation, Netball Victoria has some of the most experienced and professional, basically the best bench officials in the country, folks. And tonight we have a full bench set up and a big thank you to the bench officials for the entire season. But I'd like to invite Rosie back to celebrate tonight's bench officials. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Adrian McCormick, Brian Hurley, Shirley Zimmerman, Pam Lonsdale, and Shane Chung. Folks, as I have a photo together, why don't you have one more round of applause, not only for tonight's bench officials, but for those who have been involved the entire season. Folks, a round of applause for the bench officials. Now I'd like to invite the head coach of the Melbourne Vixens, Simone McInnes, to present the MVP medal to the Championship Division Player of the Grand Final, as selected by Simone herself. And the winner is, from the DC North East Blaze Gold Offence, Michaela Wilson. As I have a photo together, folks, I've got a sneak peek at the voting. I believe it was the case. I think Simone did a 3-2-1 vote for each quarter and added that up, and that's how she came to the final decision. So, there's a lot of contribution over the entire game. Congratulations to Michaela Wilson. Now, in the grand final tonight, it was a cracking game, as we've just seen. Lead changes throughout the night. The final score, DC North East Blaze 49, victorious over the Melbourne University Lightning 46. So now I'd like to celebrate and congratulate the runners-up, the Melbourne University Lightning. Please applaud them one by one as they come out to receive the medals from Rosie King, Netball Victoria CEO, Michaela Moore, Jackie Sinclair, Kelsey Rainbow, Elle Bennett, Heather Oliver, Maggie Carter, Sarah Winch, Maddie Stewart, Taylor Gould, Amelia Brock, head coach Alyssa Kent, assistant coach Belinda Lees, team manager Brooke Lil Page, team official Casey Price, Tom Nemeth, and team captain Danny Stewart. And now I'd like to invite the Lightning coming from the back of here. We'll get a team photo. I'll just grab a quick word with team captain Danny. Danny, a great grand final, several ring changes for a while. It looked like you'd get over the line, a cracking game. Unfortunately not your day, but I'm sure there's some people who'd like to thank.
Yeah, not our day today. Congratulations, Flames. You played a ripping game today. It was a really good contest every time we come up against you in the season, so congratulations. I'd obviously like to thank Melbourne Uni and our support staff here tonight, so our coaches and our support on the bench, so Alyssa, Belinda, Trevor and Casey. I'd mostly like to thank the girls by my side here today. They're such a great group of people. Melbourne Uni is an amazing club to be at, and it wasn't our day today, but we're super happy anyway because we've got each other.
Really well said, ladies and gentlemen. One more round of applause. You'll just invite you from the back, have a team photo. A round of applause, a great fan turnout from Melbourne Uni Lightning. Give your team a round of applause and hold their heads high tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, today's runner-up in your Lightning. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the championship premiers, the DC North East Games. I'd like to invite back Simone McInnes Owen to present their medals. Libby Nickel. Sarah Hogan, Ella Bayliss, Ty Coppinger, Grand Final MVP, Michaela Wilson, Mary Livesey, Stacey Gannon, Ellen McDonald, Sarah Sikorsky, assistant coach Kelly Lambert, team manager Eleanor Costello, primary carer Cameron Ramwood, team official Brooke George, and head coach Kate Upton, and team captain Ollie O'Reilly. Now, Leah, I might just grab you for a quick word before we present the perpetual trophy. Leah, that game I felt like could have gone anyway at some point. Yeah, at what point did you finally feel like it was yours?
Off the bench, probably about minute 40. Maybe we had about a 3-goal lead, so I thought we could just hold possession and convert us, and as we could take the win, and we did. So I'm absolutely stoked for the girls. And it was just a really tough game, and I know that Melbourne Uni will be disappointed today, but you guys have been the benchmark of the competition the last 2 seasons. You were unbelievable. This whole season, even the last 14 games we've played, it's been a couple goals. So I just want to congratulate you on a great season.
Well said, Leah. You've got a bunch of support right here. You just got edged in the Div 1 grand final, but you've taken out the chance. A great day for the club.
I just like to thank everyone who's come out tonight. The support was unbelievable. After every turnover, a tip, a goal, the crowd erupted, and it just made such a big difference. So thanks to everyone that's come out tonight. I really appreciate it, not just this game, but Division 1 and throughout the whole season. So thanks so much for coming down.
Very well said. I invite head coach Kate Upton to join you out the front. There's Melbourne Vixens head coach. I was just invited to accept the perpetual trophy. As Melbourne Vixens head coach Simone KSLA presents the perpetual trophy to the championship division. Pioneers, the DC Northeast Flames. As the Blaze celebrate the victory, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations for the 2017 Victorian Netball League season. What a great season. We'd like to thank you everyone for supporting this evening and supporting the VNL competition throughout the year. Folks, have a great night. And the presentation night coming up next week, and we look forward to seeing all of you back next season for VNL 2018.
Well, Susan, Nini, my partner in crime tonight. What a fabulous game.
It was, Elle. It was a great contest between the two sides, and you know that's the depth of Victorian netball at the moment. So it's been great to sit here, and as we wave goodbye to Simone McInnes.
And just to recap, DC Northeast Blaze taking out the Defence Force Australia VNL Championship Grand Final Premiership 49, defeating Melbourne University Lightning 46 at the State Netball and Hockey Centre. And it's just been a great night, great showcase of Victorian netball, and we really look forward to the off-season and looking at the moves that play out, but then a great VNL season for 2018.
Yeah, and also the girls that'll feed, you know, teams like Victoria Fury and Melbourne Vixens and you know, possibly Collingwood in the future. So, you know, what we've seen tonight could be some future stars of netball to come. But Michaela Wilson enjoying a great game. She was MVP tonight, but a fantastic night all round, and you know, I guess it's goodbye from us.
Yeah, goodbye, Suze. Goodbye, everyone tuning in, and we look forward to calling the game next year. Possibly more games.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the Div 1 and the 19s maybe.
Sounds
be a
like
long
a
night
plan.
for us. We might be asleep. Might need a few Baroccas and coffees.
Thanks, Netball Victoria. Thanks, Defence Force Australia. Good night, everyone.
Good night.